Welcome to Bitcoin Insights with Philipp. In this Bitcoin podcast, I delve deeper into the topics of my weekly Bitcoin Insights newsletter. As you hear, this episode is different because it's in English. It's actually my first English episode with the new branding. And it will not be my last because this one here, YouTube, you will see it now. The book of Knut Svanholm will be the next English episode I will record in 2 weeks. But let's start. As always, the block time is 859,353. And the topic of this edition is Bitcoin Insights from Riga. The listeners probably know we already talked about this because 2 days ago I recorded a session with this topic with Tanja Bechle in German. So today it's in English and a different point of view, this time from Greg Tonoski. Hello, Greg. Nice to have you here, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm Greg. I'm in Bitcoin. Bitcoin only person, and I'm interested in security in Bitcoin, both on the protocol level and individual level. I attend conferences. It was not my first conference. I was at the Baltic Honeybadger 2 years ago. I was at the Bitcoin conference in Prague last year. I was also in a conference in Amsterdam. So that was my fourth conference, I think, and I enjoyed them much. Also, Film Festival this year, so a lot of events like that.
Very nice. So where are you from, and since when are you into Bitcoin?
Uh, I'm from Poland. I'm living in Warsaw. Um, and yeah, so my journey with Bitcoin is, um, I would say it's not continuous. Uh, Initially, I dismissed Bitcoin, even though I learned about it quite early. Um, and I think I started being like more and more involved since 2018, probably 17 or 18. Um, yeah, and I think last 2 or 3 years uh, it's my like I spend much more time in the last 2 or 3 years than I ever spent my time on Bitcoin stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, I get that. Before we go deeper into that, I would like to summarize the newsletter. And in the current issue of Bitcoin Insights number 9, I share my personal experiences from those 2 outstanding events in Riga, which is, by the way, the capital of Latvia. First, there was the NOSTRiga, the Nostr event, and then there was the Baltic Honeybadger, where I was the first time in 2019. And NOSTRiga is an event or event series because it was not the first event. The last year it was in Costa Rica, for example. And it is an event sponsored by Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, now Block XYZ. And it was 2 days held before the Honeybadger. And it became clear, at least for me personally, that's why I and Craig, we both wear the same shirt, that Nostr is a promising decentralized technology, which its gateways, like apps built on top, like Primal, Nostr, are like really big competitors and alternative solutions for social media platforms like Twitter X, but also Facebook and others. And I think it has a strong correlation to Bitcoin and the principles of Bitcoin and decentralized technologies which Bitcoin represents. On the other side, the Baltic Honeybadger was like, or is the ultimate Bitcoin event featuring the biggest Bitcoin OGs. As I said, first I attended it in 2019. It was awesome. It was really great. It was like 100 people there, and it was like really family style. This time it was, of course, bigger. It was more professionalized. It had like, I don't know, 500, 600 people, I would say. And personally, it was even better. And I attended many other conferences too. For example, you mentioned it, Bitcoin Prague this year and last year. And in my newsletter, I compared those two conferences, and my personal favorite is Honeybadger. The reasons you can read, and we will talk about it later. So, Greg, I'll jump right into the first question for you. How exhausting was your week in Riga?
Yeah, events like that are exhausting. Of course, I wanted to spend time with my fellow Bitcoiners, and I wanted to spend as much time as I could. Um, so yeah, it was. However, I didn't spend much time on those after parties. Uh, my friends, like, we shared the room, and I know they arrived at 5 a.m., for example, so it was probably much more exhausting for them than me. But yeah, it was like, yeah, there were a lot of conversations, deep conversations, all over the place. So, um, yeah, but at the same time, it was so rewarding. I already don't remember being exhausted, let's say.
We will look in detail on both events, but first question. You have been to NOSTRiga and Honeybadger. Which do you prefer? Like, which was better? Which had a better experience for you personally?
Good question. Yeah, there are a lot of angles to that. First of all, I think, um, so I'm not into Nostr so much. I would call myself more a skeptic, although I use it. I have an account, um, and I post something and I read it. But yeah, I don't really have like a strong need to use Nostr, unlike Bitcoin. So I'm more interested in Bitcoin. However, um, I found NOSTRiga vibes quite similar, and I like that grassroots movement there. So um, so I liked it a lot. And of course, there were a lot of Bitcoiners because they shared the same passion to Bitcoin and Nostr. So and any freedom tool probably. So um, so on the one hand, it was quite similar. Uh, However, comparing those two, I think Nostriga part was more natural, more, this grassroots. Yeah, I could feel this grassroots movement more, while Baltic Honeybadger was more like top down, uh, like organized around uh, VC portfolio, in particular 1031, and yeah, and the other angle is I was most like I arrived with more eagerness towards Bitcoin, so I had high hopes about Honeybadger, uh, and I felt like more involved in the stuff that happened at the Baltic Honeybadger. But as I said, it's kind of personal attitude, right? I'm just more Bitcoiner than Nostrich, or how do they call themselves?
Nostriches, or yeah. Okay. I think I'm pretty much the same because personally, 2 days ago, I saw when I joined Nostr, and that was on Primal on the web browser. 2 days ago, the first time I opened the web browser on Primal, because usually I use the app. And then I saw, like on Twitter, on top you see when you joined. And I joined on March 2023. So that's nearly 1.5 years ago. I don't even know how I came to Nostr that long time ago, because that was pretty much kind of the beginning of Nostr. And I started with Damus, the app, and it was horrible. It was really, really bad. And then let's say 1 month ago, I don't know why 1 month ago, because after NOSTRiga, there was a lot on Twitter going on with npubs sharing and stuff like this. But I don't know why 1 month ago, I looked into it again. Maybe because I saw on the website there's not just the Honeybadger, there's NOSTRiga too. But anyway, I saw then that there are other apps like Damos, like Primal and Nos. And then I downloaded those apps, and I thought, holy shit, in 1 year, 1.5 years, it got so much more better. Like, it was really much closer to feeling like Twitter. It's still a long way to go to X, to have the same experiences, but it got a lot better in this time. And this made me like hopeful. And then I was on Nostr, on NOSTRiga, and I thought like, wow, wait, it's not orange pilled, it's violet pilled, no, lila pilled, any color regarding lila and violet. And I really enjoyed it, the time there. Yeah, you see here the turkey, or I don't know what animal it is.
Yeah, it's probably violet. Yeah.
The, yeah, this color. And I think it's a great alternative, because we had at the event the ban from the Simply Bitcoin YouTube channel. And you see how quick it can go with centralized platforms. And it's the same with Twitter in Brazil, for example, now. How easy it is to shut off like hundreds of millions of people from a social media platform. And say if you use it via VPN, you have to pay $8,000 per day. And this can't happen with Nostr. And that's the huge selling point. And that's why I said, okay, I'm using my Twitter every day, and my English stuff I will post on Nostr too. But we will go into some topics regarding this soon. So I would say, yeah, I was going to Riga for the Honeybadger, and actually on Thursday I looked on the website and I saw, oh, wow, NOSTRiga is for free. So I booked a ticket for my girlfriend and me. We went to the event. We got 21 euro for free for food and drinks. And because Jack Dorsey paid everything, so it was awesome. But I was there for the Honeybadger, not for NOSTRiga. But still, both great events. So I think it was probably, like, for myself, the first Nostr only conference you've been to. I know
Yeah,
that
me
at
too.
Bitcoin Prague, for example, this year there was like a stand for Nostr. Have you seen this?
Could you repeat? Have I seen what?
On Bitcoin Prague this year. Have you been this year to Bitcoin Prague, or only
No,
last year?
unfortunately, I haven't been this year in Prague.
Ah, okay. Because this year there was like a booth for Nostr, pretty famous, and a lot of people were there at Bitcoin Prague. That was like one touching point for myself, but yeah, it was the first Nostr conference I've been to, the NOSTRiga, but probably and definitely not the last one. So you said you're a bit skeptical about Nostr, or you're like, you kind of use it, but sure, it doesn't give you the same value as Bitcoin. I totally get that. But are you excited about Nostr?
Um, I've seen tech, many new tech, in my lifetime, and uh, my friend told me once, he's too old for hype, for tech hype. So I wouldn't say I feel excited. It's good to see that. I mean, I like to learn it. I'm just looking into it, but no strong feelings, I would say. Not no hype, no excitement. Um, you know, for me the best part about Nostr is, frankly speaking, less noise than on other social media platforms. And the people that are on Nostr, right? Like this is the audience,
Yeah.
or those are the people that I like to follow. So for me, it doesn't matter whether they are on Nostr or elsewhere. I would like to follow them. It happens that they are on Nostr, so so I use Nostr and follow them on Nostr.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't know what is tweeting on NOSTRigan, posting on Nostr.
Yeah, posting
2-3
notes. I
days
think that's
ago. Posting knows, okay. And I said, enjoy the time here on Nostr while you can, because in 2 years, 90% of the Twitter people will be on Nostr, and then it will be the same climate and the same culture and the same discussions like you have on any other current social media platform is overrun by hundreds of millions of people. Because right now you have like a specialized group of early adopters, which are tech affine, which are probably mostly Bitcoiners in some way. You have a huge, great community right now there, but it's small compared to Twitter. And that's a good thing, because if like in 2 years, 200 million Twitter people will come to Nostr, you have the same horrible conversations, attacks, which you don't see not that often right now on Nostr. So everyone who listens right now, go to Nostr, enjoy the time there. It's like a green alley with water and everything, and you can enjoy the time in the sun. But in the future, I think there will be a storm coming.
yeah.
Do you
And
agree, or is it like?
it's probably good to add, like, if anybody wants to join, then I'd suggest either Primal or Damus, right, on iOS, and Amethyst on Android. Not sure what is the best desktop browser app. Yeah, because there are a lot of
Yeah.
clients, and it's
Yeah.
if you pick the wrong one, the learning curve or some like just experience might not be as smooth as if you just took the the ones that I suggested.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I have two favorites. I have my reasons for it. That's Primal, because I talked to the Primal people on the conference, and for example, they created me a URL, so it's primal.net/pjah. So my name, Philipp Johannes Albert Hartmannsgruber, which is like my 4 letters, which you can find this podcast everywhere easily. And you just need this link, and then you get to my profile, because sometimes it's really terrible with the npub and the ad blah blah blah, because you have like 1 million people who can have the same ad. So it's not like on Twitter where one person has one. It's a bit different. It works like Bitcoin with a public key and a private key. So it's different, but it's fun. And the other one is NOS, because NOS is highly funded by Jack Dorsey. And the CEO of NOS is Rebel, and I talked a lot with him on the conference. And he's a really smart guy. He was apparently the boss of Jack Dorsey some time back, probably before Dorsey got like on Twitter, or I'm not pretty sure when he was his boss. So I personally think Primal and NOS are a really good first step into Nostr. Okay, then if you don't want to add anything, I would suggest we move on to the Honeybadger.
Just maybe before we switch, there are recordings from NOSTRiga, both NOSTRiga and Baltic Honeybadger. Not everything was recorded, but most of the talks were recorded, like what was discussed on stage. So it's good to know, and it can be found on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. And
And
that's a great thing.
yeah, and sorry, just to finish, great talks between Jack Dorsey and other panelists, but also uh, if we are talking about Nostr, um, and there was quite entertaining talk about Dito. I forgot the speaker, his name. Uh, but yeah, if you have time to watch only a few parts of the whole recording, then uh, those two were my favorite, and I can recommend it.
Yeah, that's a great thing about those conferences because they are recording most of the sessions. Like, okay, there it was only, I think, at one, the main stage, or two, maybe, not every stage. But that's the reason why I only listen to one or two live panels on stage, because I want to speak to the people who are attending this conference, and I'm there for the people, not for the speaker normally. But sure, if Jack Mellers or Jack Dorsey are speaking, I would like to see them for the first time live. That's always great. Especially, I love Jack Mellers. Like, a speech about proof of work on Bitcoin practice here was really like out of this world. But now let's move on to this year. You see it on YouTube. It's the magnet, the official magnet of the Baltic Honeybadger 2024. And it was the main event in Riga, obviously. Jack Dorsey said it. He is piggybagging on those events. And general question, how did you like Honeybadger?
So Honeybadger, like 2 years ago, was my favorite conference ever. The reason was that I met our like us fellow Bitcoiners. I think it was a bear market then, and uh, like I saw, oh my God, it's so real. Like those people, like it's the inverse of the clown world, if I may use the same phrase as the title of Knut's book. And uh, so so it was amazing, and all those conversations they were so deep and it wasn't always technical. Like we discussed different topics, not only technical ones, and all of them were so informative, so inspiring. Um, and the stories of the people were so amazing. And then I decided to visit more and more conferences. And now this year it was also an amazing event. A lot of I would say diehard Bitcoiners uh, who went through a lot. I already saw many faces again, so it means people keep coming to the conferences, and in particular Honeybadger. Um, uh, yeah, so I liked it very much. I would compare it to Prague conference. Like both are great. And unlike Bitcoin conference in Amsterdam, which is more like a corporate event, I would say. At least you can feel the vibes. Like the crowd, uh, the crowd is probably more or less the same, um, but um, but the vibes are different. And uh, I think Baltic Honeybadger is kind of more humble, more open. Um, at the same time, more direct. Uh, So yeah, uh, that's what I look for, right? To have those candid conversations, meaningful, um, to learn new stuff uh, from people who have real experience. So a lot of them uh, keep running some projects in Bitcoin or elsewhere, and it's so fascinating, like what people do, and uh, not only technical, although I'm mostly interested in those projects, but also art. You know, writers, painters, uh, like social, how to call them, social life organizers. um, those a prime example I think would be 1920s, right? This is kind of I would call it a social movement. Like I know there's a similar brand in Poland, and in other countries in Europe. Um, I'm not fully aware what do they do, but I know they create a lot of events everywhere, and so those are the venues where Bitcoiners meet. It's amazing. So my point is that um, you talk to people who have the real experience, and they share it, they share the knowledge, and that's amazing. So that's my main takeaway and what I like about Baltic Honeybadger the most. No Lambos, no uh,
Mm.
show off, just regular Bitcoiners. One person, maybe one person on stage was dressed differently than the others. All the rest were in t-shirts, feeling um, feeling like free, relaxed, um, open,
Yeah.
friendly to fellow Bitcoiners. That's great. That's great. How about
Yeah.
you?
You mentioned 21, and Daniel Bingen, he is one of the co-founders of 21, and he was on my podcast. It was number 5 or 6, I think, about Lightning. Of course, he's the co-founder of Tidebinder, and he is also the co-founder from the Bitcoin Association, which I'm founding here in Germany, with already more than 50 companies, and we will found on 26th of September in the German Parliament. So this will be quite fun, and I think it's great. It's a great movement, especially here in Germany. You have like in nearly every big city 21 Vertretung, so little 21 groups which are organizing local meetups, etc. And I think this is kind of, at least what I think Plan B is doing, probably worldwide, setting up those hubs to do community events. And yeah, like my experience was the same. Like as I said, 2019 it was much smaller, but the vibe didn't change. Like the people didn't change. Like Knut was there the first time, Adam Beck was there the first time, other big OGs were there, and they were this year there too. So they will come back every year because it's such an amazing event, and the atmosphere is really magnificent because if you compare it to Bitcoin Prague, in Bitcoin Prague you have 7,000 people, up to 10,000 people, and there are probably half of them, I don't want to say shit corners, but not Bitcoin only. Because with this conference, you attract not only Bitcoiner, you attract general cryptocurrency people. With Honeybadger, I would say 99% of the people are Bitcoin only. And that's like the difference between those two conferences in one sentence, I think. Is there like one event, like one moment which you particularly enjoyed, like one talk with some Adam Beck or Peter Todd, or was there such an amazing keynote or panel you listened to? Was there this one moment for you at Honeybadger?
Mhm. There were a lot of great moments. I think Cypherpunk stage, which was not recorded. I spent a lot of time there, precisely for that reason. And
Smart.
yeah, so I listened to what Adam Beck said there, what other people, and even there was this kind of entertaining discussion about Doomsday, uh, completely spontaneous, I would say. Very funny. Have you heard it? Should I go deeper into it?
No,
Unfortunately, it's not
please.
recorded, but a few freaks were discussing Doomsday and loosely defined Doomsday, not only Bitcoin Doomsday, but humankind Doomsday and stuff like that.
Like atomic bomb coming down from the sky
Yeah, even
and
worse.
destroying the
And
world.
it's hard to win such a discussion, right? And it went in so many different directions, and yeah, it was you could demonstrate how extreme freak you are. And there were a few panelists there, and all of them deserve a medal for it. Mm, yeah, I think like very interesting talk about silent link, again, not recorded in the cypherpunk stage.
Wait. Can you say who were the panelists of this doomsday discussion? Like Adam Beck,
No,
Peter
no.
Todd.
There was Dr. Orłowski. There was Peter Todd.
I figured.
And two other persons plus moderator. But I don't know their names, unfortunately. I don't recall them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because Peter Todd, I had to laugh because there was, after the event finished, there was like a private party for all of the speakers. And I was talking after the event for like, I don't know, 1 hour with Adam Beck. And Peter Todd was standing next to us. We were talking about Blockstream and like what his second layer solution is actually doing compared to Lightning. So what is the meaning of liquid? And then we talked about the Bitcoin Association. Is Bitcoin lobbying needed for companies, etc.? And then they said, okay, let's go upstairs. And I said, oh, what's upstairs? And they said, yeah, just come with us. And then my girlfriend and me, we came with them. And then it was pretty awesome because you had like, I don't know, an event with 50 people. All of the speakers were nearly there. And then we had like discussions, and I talked with Peter Todd, and I told him, Peter, I think I followed you for some time on Twitter. Then you tweeted some bullshit, and then I unfollowed you, but then I followed you again. Because if you don't know Peter Todd is one of the Bitcoin core developers, and just check out his tweet or his feed on Twitter. He tweets controversial stuff, I would say. We talked about this topic too, but I don't want to go into details about this. It was quite fun, and that's why I thought, okay, probably Peter Todd was on this doomsday discussion.
Yeah, that was great choice. He's the person to talk about doomsday for sure. I also like the discussions where Greg Dorsey was involved. I think he's kind of down to earth thinking person, and yeah, the questions that he asked, the answers that he gave, like yeah, they were just meaningful, right? It wasn't corpus speak for sure. So that was actually recorded on the main stage, so so we can come back to that. Yeah, so I don't recall any other, like, those hallmark events or hallmark talks on stages.
Yeah, on stages, I only followed the panels with Jack Mellors. I think he had 2 or 3, and Jack Dorsey. So probably I saw 3 to 4 in total. They were really good. I tweeted about them, so you can go on my Twitter and see like 60 seconds video, for example, how Jack Mellors talked about privacy and that we all want privacy, but we act really stupid because we are all on Twitter, we are all on WhatsApp, we are all on Instagram and Facebook, and we are talking about privacy. So it's like, I think every one of us has to look on what we are doing and what we are saying, and that's me included. And I think in this 60 seconds clip you can find on my tweet, he's saying that very powerful. And other great moments for me personally were like just the talks with, as I said, Adam Beck, Peter Todd, both brilliant people. MZ from Mempool Space. There were so many actually. I talked to Jack Mellors personally. I talked to Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey was really quick because I had one topic I had to talk to with him. But Jack Mellors was great because I gave him, from my point of view, really good tips for Strike. And then he said, yeah, but this could be happen then and then. And I said, okay, then do this. And then he said, oh, wow, that's actually really, really smart. And he will probably do this now. So hopefully you will see in some of the next releases a new feature. And that is like the magic of Honeybadger, right? You can easily go to Jack Mellors because he was walking there around all of the time with Dylan, his best buddy and chief of staff. You can just go to him and talk to him. And Michael Saylor, probably at Bitcoin Prague the same, but I like on Bitcoin Prague, I saw him. He had 12 people with him. Like, I don't know, 5 people were carrying his bags and whispering stuff to his ear. And then I don't know how many bodyguards. Jack Dorsey is, I don't know, I think he has 3 billion. He's probably a lot richer than Michael Saylor personally. And there was no bodyguard or anything. And that's like two different worlds with Bitcoin Prague, which is also a great conference. I don't want to say anything bad about it. I just want to say what is the difference in my personal view from the Bitcoin Prague and the Honeybadger, because with the co-founder of Bitcoin Prague, I will have a call tomorrow. And for the last 2 years, I did collaborations with them because I think it's a hugely perfectly organized event with a different audience group than the Honeybadger. And what they are doing is awesome, and it's really perfectly done. It's just different because it's a different approach than the Honeybadger.
Yeah, I would say Baltic Honeybadger is like a bigger meetup, well-organized one with stages and a lot of ride or die Bitcoiners. While like at least last year, Prague was quite bigger and more blended with corporate world because, for example, of Michael Saylor and his suit and bodyguards and this big one big stage, I think, where all of the focus was it was huge, right? Like, probably for 500 people or more. While here, of course, at Baltic Honeybadger, the main stage is quite
5,000 people.
5,000 even. Oh, so here at Baltic Honeybadger, the main stage is also huge. True. But there are also those two smaller stages. And yeah, there are no people like, let's say, there are no people dressed or just no features like Michael Saylor at Baltic Honeybadger. At least I haven't seen them. If they are, they just blend with all the plebs, and therefore the vibe is quite different. Therefore, I say it's more like this meetup, bigger meetup than the conference we know from the corporate world. And I also think they even titled the conference at Baltic Honeybadger. If not NOSTRiga, then Baltic Honeybadger was kind of titled as unconference to differentiate from those corporate conferences, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah. NOSTRiga, yeah. NOSTRiga is an unconference
Okay.
because it's part of the unconference series, which was in Costa Rica or Costa Rica. And next year, it's not decided yet. They said that they posted on NOS, what was it? And that they will tell as soon as they know. They haven't figured it out yet. Probably it will be in South America, or maybe even Australia, New Zealand. We will see. But like let's wrap it up. And Honeybadger, was there anything you didn't like?
Was there anything I didn't like? Um, hmm. I wouldn't say I didn't like, although had slight difference in comparison to 2022 for the worse, was that I think this time it was more overwhelmed by 1031, like this. I don't know how to call them, corporation. Um, I don't know if it's the right word, but uh, like I have the feeling that now I know uh, their portfolio better than I know Ten Commandments. Like there was, Odell, Matt Odell all over the place, and his company, and then promoted their portfolio everywhere. So at least I was overwhelmed with the information about the stuff from their portfolio. I look forward to more balanced agenda where we could also listen to, uh, projects that are completely unrelated to to that entity, to that company. For example, I missed Designer. Um, I missed a lot of, those small volunteers, individuals, which are many in Europe, which provide services and products like, for example, those, metal plates to store your seed phrase or secrets. Um, Sometimes they produce some gadgets. Um, I would love to see even, t-shirts, Bitcoin only t-shirts, let's say. Uh, mm, Stuff like that. I just haven't seen that, right? Like um
Mm.
yeah, that was what I
There
missed.
was,
But again, I would say it's not a big deal. At least for me, it
yeah.
was not a big deal, right? Again,
I
I
think there is
spent most of my
always,
time, or at least half of my time, there outside actually the
mm,
building, because the weather was nice, and I talked to, those Bitcoiners from Madeira, from all over the
yeah,
Europe, um, which you don't normally see anywhere. And same with you, like I didn't know about your work in the space. You said that you produce the content in German language. Therefore, probably I don't know German. Therefore, probably I don't know about you. Unlike English um, content producers from all around the world, they reach international audience, and kind of I know about American Bitcoiners more than European ones, until
mm,
I visit conferences like Baltic Honeybadger, where I meet Germans, French, Spanish, Italians, a lot of Italians. They probably do a lot of podcasts in Italian, for example, that I just never heard about because I don't know Italian. Um,
yeah.
and so this event um, uh, is a great opportunity for me to meet people like that, to see how big um, um, I don't want to use the word community, but how many Bitcoiners there are in Europe actually, right? Uh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And again, just to make finish the point, I don't think that there was a huge drawback. It was very good conference. I like it very much.
I think there are different reasons why we as Germans mainly do our podcasts and stuff on German. And that's first, the German market is huge because or the German speaking market, because we not only have Germany, we have Austria and Switzerland. So we have 3 German speaking countries with a lot of business and a lot of people who are interested in that. And the problem is, if you as a German do only English, you compete with the whole world. And so you have a much higher competitor rate than if you do the German content. Because there are some, right now, a lot of German content, but you have then maybe, in my podcast, for example, there are maybe 2, 3, maximum 5, which are comparable. And if I would do English, I would have 10,000, I don't know, no, 100, 200 podcasts maybe. But the thing is, because of the huge market, I have a lot of great German-speaking people I interview. Like I have so many people from Germany, from Austria, from Switzerland, and sure, at some point of time, I talk to the best ones, the most famous ones, with the best knowledge in their field of expertise. And then I will focus more on the English-speaking market, because then I can go to other people which are speaking only English, or like what we do today with you, or here what I said here with Knut, for example. Obviously, it will be English because he's from Sweden. And then maybe I will do an interview with Adam Beck, Peter Todd, I don't know. We have at least some funny pictures together, and they follow me, so I can write them on Twitter if they want to come on to my podcast. But first, I want to have some English episodes before I ask them. But as I know Adam, he would probably say yes, because he's a really great guy. And that's like really awesome. Like he's, for me personally, like a star, because he could be Satoshi Nakamoto. We talked about it. I asked him if he is. And that's awesome that you can talk with him like this on a funny way.
Sorry to
And we
interrupt.
really talked a long
He
time.
also got the
Yeah.
question on the stage and he denied. So not a secret.
Yeah. Oh no, he denied, but it's interesting what he says, why he's not, or who it could be. That was the interesting part of the conversation. Obviously, he says he's not Satoshi Nakamoto, but it doesn't make it true. He could be part of it. I don't know if he is. I probably don't think he is, but I have my own theories. And yeah, that's the question, or the topic regarding German English content. And the other thing, there was actually a guy at the Honeybadger where you could print your own meme on the shirt, and I printed mine. In the front, it says, fix the money, fix the world. And on the back, there was the US dollar and the decline of the US dollar compared to gold. So I printed my own meme coin shirt at the Honeybadger, but sure, there's always stuff you can improve at such a conference, but we are talking on a really high level, and I think you agree. We both think they did a great job, and maybe next year they can do an even better job with small increments of change. All right, then will I see you again next year in Riga?
Yes, I think so. Like, I suppose I will pick one conference to attend, and Baltic Honeybadger would be on the top of the list. And if I don't have any other plans, if I don't have to change the plan, then I will go to Riga. Yeah.
Okay. And what other events do you have lined up this year?
So this year I was quite busy, so this was my first and probably the only event. Maybe There was a film festival in Warsaw in April at the halving day, right? There was the European halving party. Kudos to Tomasz Kołodziejczyk Kołodziejczuk from 21 community in Poland. And yeah, so there were those two events only. We have meetups in a few cities in Poland, so I visit them from time to time. But yeah, when we talk about conferences, Baltic Honeybadger and the film festival were the only ones. I also consider going to Lugano if it happens this year. But yeah, it's 50-50, and yeah, next year probably I will also be busy, and probably I will be able to attend only one event, maximum two. And again, Baltic Honeybadger is like a no-brainer for me.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we will see each other then at Lugano. I'm planning to go there if it happens. Probably go to Amsterdam, and I will definitely go if everything works as planned to Buenos Aires, Argentina, to La BitConf, then Sao Paulo SatzBit conference, and then to adopting Bitcoin in El Salvador. So I have quite some plans in November, 3 weeks there. The thing is, my girlfriend is from Brazil, so we already planned to go over Christmas and New Year to Brazil. Then at the conference, I met Tanya, which we did the recording 2 days ago. And she told me about those conferences, and I said, maybe I can talk to my girlfriend that we don't fly on Christmas to Brazil, but we fly at the end of October to Argentina, then to Brazil, visit their family, go then to Sao Paulo, and then to El Salvador. And then I can have a look at El Salvador, because I'm thinking about leaving Germany, and El Salvador could be probably my new home. So yeah, I have a lot of plans this year. I think it will be in total 8 conferences, because there are 2 more in Munich, 1 more in Berlin, and 1 I probably forgot. So yeah, quite some events.
Sounds impressive. I will follow you. I will find you on
Great.
Nostr, right? You said you use it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And Twitter, obviously. All right, then I would say, no, there was one thing you said 2 questions ago that I wanted to answer, because you talked about 1031. And I saw 1031 at the conference, and I was confused, because we have 1031 bank in Germany, and I didn't think like, 1031, that can't be them. It's 1031.vc, and if you look at the portfolio, it's like incredible what their portfolio is. They have like CoinKite, DBFi, Fedi, Hodl Hodl, Mempool Space, Nodal, Primal, River, Samurai, Sphinx, Strike, Swan, Unchained, and those are only those I know. That's really crazy. And I don't know what I should think about this, actually, because so much VC money on those Bitcoin companies, it's not good. But that's just my first reaction.
Like, if I if I may, I would welcome just like, I think just that at least for me, the best conferences are those that don't crowd out those grassroots movements, those volunteers, individuals who work on something. All projects start small. Typically, there's an idea between 2 people, maybe one person, like Satoshi Nakamoto, if there was one person, starts something, right? And I think it's great if they're, for me as a visitor, I'd love to learn about those projects at such conferences. That's my, for me, it's the unique value proposition of such a conference. So that I go there, I can meet the founders, if if we use those words, um, and I learned the ideas that they share. I learned about the projects and I see real people behind those projects, and maybe later they grow big, scale up and stuff like that. But the main point is that it's difficult for me to learn about such projects from the distance and understand them. It's far easier if they are all compiled in one place. You can talk directly to the founder. They can explain in their own words what they want to achieve. Yeah, and that's the unique value proposition. And it conflicts with those top-down approach where there is one big sponsor of the event, like again 1031, who promotes their portfolio, and you can only see those projects, those businesses that they have in their portfolio, which is fine. But again, at the same time, I'd like to see others, right? As many as possible. Probably most of them are just not even competitors to 1031 portfolio, right? Many people just are hobbyists and release some software, sometimes even small tools or libraries or whatever, or art, anything. And it doesn't even compete with businesses, I would say.
Yeah, when I think about it, like probably every company which was there was a portfolio company of 1031. It would be interesting to check for companies which are not a portfolio company of 1031 and if they were there or if it was a completely 1031 conference, which is not terrible because those companies are really, really good. And you could have a conference with only those companies because it's a huge spectrum of diversity regarding the areas they are working on. But still, something I didn't recognize actually because I just saw 1031 once and then I thought, okay, I don't care. And then it wasn't like in my mind anymore. But you said, sure, like small companies should be presented there too. That's obviously something I would say as well. For example, right now I started a new company with one colleague here from Germany. It's called Orange Sets, short OSETs, or on Twitter OSETs21. And like you could say it's a kind of professionalism of the work I'm doing here with the Bitcoin Insights newsletter, with the podcast, because the company will like be a platform for all of these great content creators, like my stuff, the stuff from Lottie with Smart Money podcast, and other great podcasters and newsletters. And what we saw is, at least in Germany, there's not one platform, there's not one website which bundles all of the information. Because Bitcoin is so huge, it's like crazy. You have 10 dimensions and no one is addressing everything. Everyone is addressing it from his point of view, like myself, obviously. I can only talk about what I know. But there are like 9 other dimensions I'm probably not really that tackling, but this podcast is. And why don't you bring all of those different dimensions onto one platform? That is something we are trying to build. I don't know if we will succeed. At least we try our best, and it will, for the foreseeable future, it will not be a profitable company. It will not be a non-profit, but we will not make profit out of it. We will pay more money and time in building it, but money is not our focus in this regard. So yeah. Let's say I wrap it up. I give you listeners a short summary. Greg, if you have something to add, feel free. So what did Greg and me talk about? We talked about our experiences in Riga at those two incredible conferences, NOSTRiga and Baltic Honeybadger. NOSTRiga is an event sponsored by Jack Dorsey. It is about Nostr, the decentralized technology, which will be usable with, new gatekeepers, apps like Primal, Nos, Damos, Nostr, and others. And it is a decentralized technology, which means it's censorship resistant. And it could be a huge competitor in Twitter in, let's say, 2 to 5 years. We have the Baltic Honeybadger as the OG Bitcoin conference in the world. It started in 2017. My first year was in 2019. It was awesome back then. It was even better now. It is highly like you said it, Greg. It's like a professional meetup, just a bit bigger, better organized, with great companies there, which are sponsored, of course, by, as we learned, 1031. So most of the companies there, like Strike and Hodl and all of the others, they are portfolio companies of 1031. But that is, for me right now, not something I would say it's bad. It's maybe something which could be improved in the next time, that there are even more, maybe smaller Bitcoin-only companies which are not a portfolio company of 1031. And I think Greg and me, we both had a great time in Riga. Probably because both of us, we weren't partying that much and spent more time on talking to people at the conference. But sure, there were one or two nights where I partied, especially with the speakers, which was even more fun. And I think what is awesome at those conferences is to talk to people like Adam Beck, like Peter Todd, and all of the others, Jack Dorsey, Jack Mellers. And you don't have that opportunity that often. You have to go to those conferences to have this opportunity. And Greg, me, we will both be in Riga next year, probably. I will be at a lot of other conferences worldwide this year because it is part of my job and it brings me a lot of joy, and I'm willing to spend money on this because 75% of my income right now is going to Bitcoin, and the rest of the money goes to traveling and life. So there is not much else going on in my life than Bitcoin and my girlfriend and family. So, Greg, was this like a fine summary? Did you had something you would like to add?
Great summary. Nothing to add. See you next year in Riga. Maybe in the meantime, we'll have a chance to meet somewhere else. Yeah, thanks for all the Bitcoiners that I met there, and also the organizers of the conference. Yeah, see you.
Perfect. Then that's it for today. As always, if you want to learn more about Bitcoin, then subscribe to this podcast. Let's explore the Bitcoin rabbit hole together. Thank you, Greg. Thank you for all of the listeners of Bitcoin Insights, and see you in the next episode.